And we are back. We are joined by special guest Deshaun Watson of the Cleveland Browns. Before he says anything, make sure y'all hit that like button, follow button, all those good things. Make sure that you guys are tuned in as we continue to have the best quarterbacks in the world join us for our show. Deshaun, I don't know if you're muted or I muted you, but you should be unmuted soon so you can
Can you
start
hear me now?
talking. Yeah, we can hear you now. What up, folks?
What's happening, fam?
Nothing much. I appreciate you hopping on. I know you've had a busy few days out the country, here, there, whatever. How you feeling?
I feel good, man. I'm blessed, healthy, excited. Did a little vacation, and now ready to get back on the grind, man. So that's the biggest thing. Excited.
For sure. I'm gonna hit you with a fan question. First person asked, "How are you loving the city of Cleveland?"
Uh, Actually, which is crazy. People might be thinking I'm just saying this to say it, but I actually like the city of Cleveland. Slow pace. The food is really good. Uh, was because it's a big sports town, so it reminded me of my college town in Clemson. And just being able met with all the fans and have some good food and things like that. And then just the weather, you know what I'm saying? Being from the south, you don't really get the snow and the cold. So not too much of it, but when we do get the snow and cold, we enjoy it.
Yeah, that snow and cold is a little bit too much for me. I'm from Minnesota. I don't need that. But what's your favorite restaurant in Cleveland? Give somebody a little love right now. You said the food's good, so you don't gotta give me just
My
one
favorite,
spot. You can give me a couple.
yeah, of course, Marble Room. It's a classic downtown. Crew, Crew is super dope. Super nice restaurant. It's this place called The Sauce. So anybody that like Cajun and like basically like crab legs, it's like a crab. It's like basically seafood hibachi. So you get all the crabs and shrimp and crawfish all in one with the rice. I like my hibachi, so that's a good place. There's a couple others too.
Say less, but let's move into football. I'm gonna ask you. I think I got like 10 football questions. I ain't gonna keep you too long. Year one in Cleveland, not getting to play all the games. What is that like? First year on the Browns, not just in Cleveland. First year on the Browns. What is that like? Not getting to play all the games, kind of being a spectator a little bit. Like, what is that experience like? Because I know it had to be unique.
Yeah, it's tough, especially with the situation that came in later in the year. Everyone was 3 months in, so they were pretty much 12 weeks adapted to their teammates. So with me being in the off season, I got to train with them and practice with them here and there. But with the situation going on, seven, Jacoby had to make sure he was prepped up with the ones. So I was taking a lot of scout team reps and try to stay in shape and things. And then once I'm away, being able to just grind. So I was kind of thrown into the fire, but I felt that I came in and did what I had to do, go 3-3. We wanted more. Yeah, opportunities to finish better, but it was a up and down situation because I was just trying to get used to my teammates, used to the coaches, used to how playing in the AFC North, used to playing in the cold. All these different factors I had to tie in to make sure I stay focused and try to help the team win.
Yeah, and when I think about that, to me, is it like wearing somebody else's shoes or something? Like Jacoby was essentially the starting quarterback for like 11 or some weeks. Are you feel like you're getting thrown into an offense that was kind of tailor made for him? Him and Kev kind of had a rhythm. They were doing their thing, and then you kind of get thrown into something that wasn't necessarily tailor fit for you. Or how does that feel? Did you feel like it was your offense, or did things change as you kind of move forward?
Oh no, yeah, things changed. You know what I'm saying? They had to tailor around Jacoby. Whatever Jacoby was comfortable with, whatever he was happy with, whatever made him play his best. That's what they had to tailor around. And I'm a different type of quarterback. Me and Jacoby does do a lot of similar things. We think a lot, but with certain third down runs and certain RPOs and things
I
like
love
that.
Jacoby to
That was
death. You can move better than Jacoby. That's you don't have to be so friendly. Jacoby wouldn't be mad if you said that you can move better than
Nah,
he
his,
can.
yeah, Jacoby, yeah, he'll be the first one to tell you. He used to tell me all the time, like, let's see a quarterback take off 60 yards. He's like, you can do that, right? I'm like, man, you tripping. But like, yeah, so it was a big change. And then with me and Kevin, honestly, it's both our first times working together. You know what I'm saying? So the first week in Houston, like, that's our first time trying to pick something that I'm comfortable with. And like, it was tough, especially in the middle of the season. Like, they got to coach differently than how they coached before. They got to call plays differently than how they called before. So there's a lot of different factors.
Yeah, so you've been through what's that? 3 different play callers in a really short period of time. You had Bill O'Brien, you had Tim Kelly, and then Kev. What is that like? Like, what is the difference between all the different play callers? And then also this year is a completely new offense. Is it different in terms of like play callers? Does that experience change? And then I'm gonna ask you a question kind of about the offenses.
Yeah, I think the flow of the calls are totally different. You had OB who, in certain situations he liked to be a little bit more aggressive. With the guys that he had, Will Fuller, DeAndre Hopkins, so he knew like he got to get them the ball. Our run game when we had Lamar Miller was really good. He got hurt, and then we came with it was Drew Johnson and Carlos Hyde, and that was very good and powerful, but it was a different type of zone read and power, how he is improving. And so being able to, try to adjust with him. And then Tim Kelly was basically, he's more empty. He wanted to see it. He wanted to make the game simple. And then you got Kevin who, want to do the same thing, but, you got Nick Chubb in the backfield. So you got to factor in Nick Chubb and the things that he do. So you kind of pretty much, in the shotgun, but you're doing more, pure progression reads across the board than, how I was kind of, I had options before.
Yeah, and run playing with in the West Coast system, this is way more West Coast than anything you've done. What is kind of difference in like as a quarterback play from this offense to the things you had done previously? Because I know even the stuff you did at Clemson, like basically your whole life growing up, much different than what you're doing now. How do you see that differently?
I think the biggest difference is, I think in this offense, like the quarterback takes control of it, but coaches have a lot of responsibility on it too. So, in the previous offenses, quarterback did everything. I called the mic points, I called the run points, I called the protections, I'm flipping the protection, sliding here, calling out hots, everything. And this system is basically built in. So when you come up to the line of scrimmage, you're not really doing that. You can see it, you can override the center, but pretty much the center is directing everything. You just got to make sure you do see the right coverage, and it's kind of more simple in a sense, but simple is not always the best way to go sometimes, because you might get sidetracked on whatever you were supposed to be looking at in that certain play.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. There's so much. The offense now is so much more structured. I feel like the West Coast, like it's just like here's the rules. Like the rules are this, and this, and you do that. But I think the way Kevin is kind of trying to construct that offense is still going to allow you to be yourself and do a lot of the creative things that you can do. So I'm really excited to see how he builds an offense. And there's a very small portion of people in this country have ever listened on the headset of a quarterback. So what are coaches giving you notes? Are they just telling you plays? Or are they like, look at this? And you're like, what are they giving you in that headset when you're walking in the line of scrimmage? Because they're talking to 15 seconds. They're giving you the play 30?
Yeah, so they give you the play right when you get in. So right when pretty much the play is over, Kevin's already in the headset. He's talking, maybe something previous before. He might be changing personnel grouping, but also he's giving me the play. And so I can kind of know who's coming in, what down the distance, what we're thinking about, because we meet so much throughout the week. I kind of know what Kevin is thinking. And with us being able to, go into that game and go into that huddle, once he called out the first half of the play, I already know what he's thinking. So he's pretty much the last 10 seconds, he's giving me the opportunity. All right, this is the coverage. You might see this pressure. I like this. Hey, you can move this down. So whatever tips he can give me, he's definitely doing that.
I think that's very, very helpful. I know that's kind of something new that you're getting from Kevin this year. I think he's one of the best play callers in the NFL.
Agreed.
How do you so we're going to be game 1, week 1 starter this year. How do you think that's going to change? Like how does that change you in the locker room? Did you get to be yourself, not being the necessarily – I mean, everybody knew they brought you in. They traded for you. You're there for a reason. Everybody knew you're the starter, and I thought that the relationship that between you, Jacoby, Josh, all you guys had in that quarterback room was so good just because everybody understood the situation. But how is it different now when you go there, like you're starting week 1? Like, what do you think changes this offseason or this camp? What does that look like?
I think just the aggressiveness of just how we want to approach the season. Last year was a lot of unknown. Like you said, the quarterback room, we all knew. We all support each other. We all loved each other. We all friends to this day. And we kind of knew Jacoby was going to come in, but we didn't know how long. We didn't know, was it going to be 11 weeks? Was it going to be 6 weeks? Was it going to be 0 weeks? You know what I'm saying? Like, there was so much of this kind of unknown. And so it kind of put everybody on hold until we figured out a week before. And so now going into this week, we kind of have clarity. We can start from day one of OTA. Though, all right, this is how we want to approach it. Who we need to find our playmakers. Who, this is the way we run our offense. This is the way we want to call our offense. We want to play fast. We want to play slow, no huddle. So all these things that we're doing, we can kind of already adjust and have, be ahead of the game.
You lost your QB coach, Drew, who I think is a fantastic quarterback coach. You guys lost him. He's a coordinator in Arizona now. So good luck to him. I know it's going to be tough, but how do you – so what is it you feel like the quarterback room is going to be like now? No Drew there. Do you care who the quarterback coach is coming in? Do you and for one, fans, I'm not going to be the quarterback coach there because people keep asking me that. I'm not going to go to Cleveland. But, do you care, or is it you just trust Kevin so much, whatever he does, it's going to be a right fit?
Yeah, I trust Kevin, ABP. I trust Kev. ABP is still going to be in the room. But I trust Kevin, AB. And being able to have two guys that, understand what I want, that ask me questions that's very transparent. And I just want somebody that's a great teacher. That I can learn from. I'm one of the guys, I love to be Coach Hard. And I'm pretty sure you said it before because, you've been around me since I was a little kid. It's I like the coach that gets on my ass about a certain drill or a certain play or certain things like that. I don't, the pat on the back or just oh, we're getting that time. That's not really me. I like to be Coach Hard because I know how great I am. I know my standard. So being able to have that in the room is definitely going to be key. I haven't talked to Kevin personally. I'm supposed to be calling him soon to try to figure out the coaching situation. But I know whoever they get is going to be, that's what I want is a great teacher that I can learn from.
Yeah, to me, that's what makes the special guy special, right? Because you could just do the things that you're doing now and it would be okay. But every time you step in the field, you're trying to get challenged, you're trying to get coached. And if you're not getting those things, I think that you become a little bit frustrated. You want that. You want somebody who's going to be on you, hold you to a standard. Because it's the standard's the standard. It's something we always talk about. You got to do these things in order to be successful. So I know that they'll do the right thing in terms of getting you the right guy in the building. And then, my last – so people talked about – oh, damn, I lost a question. They asked a good one. All right, DeAndre Hopkins on the market. When we found out DeAndre Hopkins was getting traded from the Texans, we happened to be together. I probably fucked that up. Looking back, I probably could have not. I could have not done what I did, but I thought it was kind of funny.
It was crazy.
Yeah, we were in the gym, right? We were in the gym working out.
Middle of workout, and you got you got an alert on your phone. And you yelled it, and we're wait, what?
I could have not done what I did, but I thought it was kind of funny.
It was crazy.
Yeah, we were in the gym. Right in the gym working out.
Middle of workout, and you got you got an alert on your phone. And you yelled it, and we're wait, what? Are you tripping? And I was nah. We went on Twitter. We all grabbed our phone. We're what? The whole workout stopped.
Wasn't no working out after you find out you losing DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, we got big calls now. What's going on?
Do you shoot a text? Do you shoot a text to D-Hop now? Yo, bro, what's up? You gonna pull up on us, or how do you do this? What does it look like when you're in the league and you got these top level free agents that you really know? These are your people.
Well, it just really depends on if it's serious or not. As far as kind of if we can really get them. So that's something that you got to be able to look overall. Cap space, trade, different things like that. Talk to the coaches. Being able to see if all right, this is something serious that can really happen. And once you kind of know, then it's all right, you just kind of communicate with them. Not too serious. Me and D-Hop been friends for a while, so we actually gonna be in the same area probably this weekend. So we're gonna chop it up and see where things kind of hold place. But nothing guaranteed. We just kind of let it flow from there.
All right, I ain't gonna hold you too long. Last question. I saw something that actually was I pinned it. Anytime I hear somebody talk about football and they say something about one of my guys, I keep a little note because I'll go back on Twitter and I'm gonna call somebody out when I see it. But people don't. I'm not sure people remember just how special you are as a quarterback. What do you think this year is gonna look like on the field? Because I think that you're gonna remind them you're one of the absolute best quarterbacks in the NFL. I look at the stats all the time from your last year at Houston, how much you fucking dominated the NFL. How do you get back to that? What's going to bring you back to that point? Or not back to that point. I don't think that's it. What's going to make you better than that last time when you were number one in every statistical category in the NFL?
Oh, for sure. I think it's just gonna be work. If people had so much expectations and high expectations, and all that stuff generates from the media. So I think I don't take it. Sometimes I take it personal. It just depends on how they speak it. But like most of the time, I don't really take it personal because that's their job in the media to be able to kind of talk good, bad, whatever they want to talk about. But when I look at it that way, people thinking that I fell off or this that the third, what I'm saying? All it is they know how good I am and they know the limit I am. So if I don't, reach that standard and the expectation of myself and what I can play at, then of course it's going to be a failure. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's really just going ahead and putting the work each and every day. Not worrying about all that stuff. I hear it, I see it, but that stuff ain't gonna bother me. That's their job. You know what I'm saying? I like when people underestimate me, because when that shit happens, that's when I take it to a whole nother level. So for me coming into this year from day one, I got to go hard. I got to train hard. You know what I'm saying? And have everybody around me at the same level. And once we do that, we can make something special for Cleveland. And I feel like we got the team, we got the people, and we just got to fill in the pieces. And once we get rolling, we're gonna be rolling.
Can't wait till you get back to that point. I appreciate you. I know this is your first real interview you've done since coming back. I know you could be doing a bunch of other things. I will see you this weekend. I had to move my flight. My flight's not Friday. I'll be there Saturday, so I'll pull it up.
All right, that's a bet.
All right, that's a bet.
All right,
hey, wait, last thing. I need a couple songs. What are you listening to right now that the fans can listen to that you're listening to? If we took your phone right now, what's your Spotify?
My Spotify is full of NBA YoungBoy.
NBA YoungBoy?
NBA YoungBoy. So y'all already know what type of time I'm on.
Give me a song for NBA YoungBoy because I don't be listening. He's too aggressive for me. He be getting on the mic.
No, yeah, he aggressive. Go type in NBA YoungBoy. I got the bag.
I got the bag.
The whole album, but I got the bag is probably the one that I've been rocking to.
All right, I'm gonna go play I Got the Bag right now. I appreciate you. You enjoy your Thursday. I will see you soon.
All right, fam.
All right, bet. Love.
Love.
We got a random caller calling in. We always accepting callers. I'll let you in just a second. I think I've hit the button, but I think that Deshaun did a great job in terms of talking about some of the difficulties he had in terms of last year because it was undoubtedly difficult. I got to spend a tremendous amount of time with him. I was working out with him through the week when we were in Cleveland during the time that he was suspended. And it's adversity. Like it's undoubtedly really, really tough for somebody of that level to have to deal with all the things that he had to deal with. And I'm not absolving blame or whatever. Like there's things that, happen that were consequences were paid, whatever. However, very, very difficult for someone who throughout their whole life is able to be the star. At every turn, like they're out there doing amazing and dealing with that level of adversity is difficult. And I think that, life's full of challenges and we all have difficult times at some points, but it's how we handle those adversities that make us different. I think you got to understand that those adversities are part of life. They're natural and the way that we withstand those things are what's going to make us different. But somebody asked in the chat a little bit ago is how did Deshaun and I meet? And when in kind of most memorable points in our relationship. I started training Deshaun when he was in 10th grade. He was in Gainesville High School. I have the opportunity to work for Elite 11. Elite 11 is the premier training company for high school quarterbacks across the country. We were at a camp in Georgia at Buford High School. I saw him. I knew that he was special. I was working with another guy there named Joshua Dobbs. Joshua Dobbs was actually on the team with Deshaun in Cleveland. Deshaun and Josh are still really, really close to this day. Saw him there, kind of started a relationship, started working together a little bit. Then the following year, he makes the finals of Elite 11. He goes out to Oregon and really started developing a really close relationship, like a big brother, that type of relationship. So gave us an opportunity to really become close. And we remained close throughout that time. Not only I think people see the things that we do on the football field, the training sessions, all those things is like the limit of our relationship. But he's probably one of my closest friends to this day. There's things that, we talk about like we're friends. But probably the coolest experience, and I'm sure that he would echo the same sentiment, the coolest experience that we've ever had was we went on a 30-day excursion where we trained, taught people the game of football. We went from London to Innsbruck, Austria. From Austria, we went to like the Swiss Alps. From there, we went to what's that shit with the canals? The canals all through it, the water, right? We were in there. We were on the boats to that spot. Then from there, we went to Africa. We went to the pyramids to Cairo, Egypt. From Cairo, Egypt, we went to China. We did that all within 30 days. This upcoming offseason actually has something really, really special. Playing with 6 NFL quarterbacks, we are going to be seeing, I think it's 4 countries over a 2-week period of time, giving these guys an opportunity to train in different places, experience different cultures. And I wasn't salty when I seen Patrick Mahomes' new Netflix show. However, when I saw it, kind of took a little bit of the luster out of some of the things that we're doing. But I think that people are going to get a really good insight on what it looks like when NFL quarterbacks are together, because we probably get a bigger collection of NFL guys between Deshaun Watson, Geno Smith, Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, like all those guys get to come together. They're working out, they're training, they're talking, they're sharing stories. And to hear these high-level conversations that these guys have about the game of football, I think will literally change the way you look at the game, because they're talking about protections, how they're seeing different things on defense, how they handle safety rotations, how they're handling play actions and new defenses that they're seeing in the league. So all these different things that these guys talk about having experience in at the highest levels is really, really cool to me. It gives you the opportunity to see this is what makes these quarterbacks special. And that is really what I like. I like seeing the differentiators between the best of the best and then the college guys, because it's different. But that's a little bit there. When we get back, I'm going to give you guys an updated draft rankings as we start talking about quarterbacks in the 2023 class. And without further ado, give you a little Drake, Middle of the Ocean. And we back. I'm inviting callers because I know some people may have some questions on some of the things that we had the opportunity to talk about with Deshaun. So all you got to do is hit that button. I'll accept you as a caller. You can ask whatever you want. You can actually have a conversation for a bit. I'm giving you guys some time to do that, and then we're going to start getting this 2023 draft class. We've been talking about the quarterback draft class for quite some time, and I think that I was the first one to say that Anthony Richardson had a real shot at creeping into the top 2, top 3 quarterbacks in the draft. And I think the more people are watching this tape, the more that people are agreeing with the things that I say. And it's not that I think that I'm an amazing quarterback evaluator. I just think that the people who evaluate quarterbacks, who are oftentimes scout, whatever, they are afraid. And I can understand a lot of the disagreement on Anthony Richardson's, his skill set. But a lot of the people who are like regional scouts, XYZ, they're afraid to go out on a limb for guys, especially at the quarterback position that is so vital to a team's success, so vital to the organization. So they can't necessarily say the same things about a guy based on traits as somebody as a GM or a head coach can say about a guy based on traits that they feel like they can coach, they can develop, that they can help make into a better quarterback. Anthony Richardson, I'm not saying that all of his tape was clean or pristine or amazing. I am saying that he did things as a quarterback that nobody else in this class has the ability to do. His arm is stronger than any quarterback in this class. He's bigger and stronger and faster and has the ability to make more explosive plays with his legs than anybody in this class. Like anybody. There's no quarterback with the ability to do things with his legs that Anthony Richardson's able to do. And that is where the game is going. Yes, C.J. Stroud. Yes, Bryce Young. Yes, Will Levis can add and extend plays from the pocket. Right, but Anthony Richardson just has some special characteristics. And if I were a betting man, I want you guys to write this down. If I were a betting man, I would bet on the Indianapolis Colts selecting Anthony Richardson. The reason I'm so big on the Indianapolis Colts and their selection of Anthony Richardson is if you look at Chris Ballard and all the things that he's done throughout his career, he is so big on physical stature, traits, and abilities. Anthony Richardson has all of those things. And I'm not sure he'd have to trade up that high in order to get him. The Houston Texans are not a team that I think is suited for Anthony Richardson. However, they have the ability to trade to any of those other spots and still select him and put themselves in a really good position to have a quarterback who can learn. Let's say they bring in somebody like a Jacoby Brissett from the Cleveland Browns. Now he's coming back to Indianapolis. They bring in a Jacoby Brissett. He's going to be the bridge starter. You got Anthony Richardson on the cheap deal. He's going to be your starter moving forward. They're going to put themselves in a situation for success because Indianapolis Colts have a really good team around them. They're in a weak AFC South. The only other team that I feel like has the ability to compete there is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Houston Texans are going to be some time away. They do have 2 first-round draft picks this year. They're likely going to get a quarterback, and if they were smart, they'd go get another receiver. So if you get a quarterback, you got John Mechie, and then you got that additional first-round pick, they got a lot of options and places they can go. Their defense was not very sturdy last year. However, schematically, they're going to be much different on the defensive end than they were this year. They're not going to be as much too high, much shell coverage. It's just going to be a different team on defense. And we're really excited to see what they do on the offensive end of things when they get a dynamic playmaker. Now, the difference is between Houston and a lot of other spots that quarterbacks can go. This rookie quarterback is going to be thrust into the starting spot very, very early. And it's very important that they have the pieces up front to protect. They got one of the best left tackles in the league. They have a really good Titus Howard. I'm not sure they've moved him around so much on the offensive line. He's also a really good piece. If they can add one more piece up front, they will have the ability to protect. They're going to have to do some things in the running game. I can't imagine they're going to go out there they had the rookie running back who was really, really sturdy last year. I can't imagine they're going to go out there and try Trout Burkhead out there anymore this season. They got an opportunity to build a team that can be good pretty quickly. We got a new caller. Gonna let this caller come in. It's I don't know how to say this name. I'm not even gonna try. It's gonna take a couple seconds for him to get in. And when he get in, he'll be on mute. Hey, what's going on?
What's up? It's Jomo Dundada. But
say it one more time.
Jomo Dundada.
Jomo Dundada. See, ain't no spaces in here, so
I know, yeah. So it's hard to, but big fan. I'm happy that I was actually able to get in here. My question is, one, are you gonna like transfer these over to like any other platform? Because I know it's like you had to be live for these. I missed the Trey Lance one last week, and I'm a 49ers fan, so I was wondering if any of these are gonna get transferred over. And what are your speculations on like Deshaun Watson and how the team is gonna continue to build around them, or any like anticipation for the record this coming year?
Cool. Well, I'll keep you on the call in case you got any follow-up questions. All right. So one, we didn't end up putting the one on YouTube last week. Somebody else had already ripped it from our station and put it on YouTube. We legally have to wait 24 hours, and they had done it so far in advance of the 24 hours. They actually got a good bunch of views. I think you can just YouTube search Trey Lance, Quincy Avery, and you will find that video. So that's the first thing. So the plan is to have this one up tomorrow at like 2 o'clock with Deshaun. And then the second piece, my anticipation for the Cleveland Browns and Deshaun Watson, I think that they're going to win the AFC North. Like, I honestly and truly believe that. I know they're going to be in a battle with the Cincinnati Bengals, Baltimore Ravens, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. However, don't have really any insight on what the Baltimore Ravens are doing at the quarterback position. And if they don't have Lamar Jackson, I think they're going to be in a really difficult spot. Lamar Jackson is so special, so unique. And then offense really revolves around him. He's a son in that offense, right? Everything that they do is based on the things that Lamar Jackson does at the quarterback position. So if they are not capable of getting Lamar back, I think that team falls to the bottom of the AFC North. I don't think that the way the Pittsburgh Steelers are constructed, that they have enough firepower in order to score at a high enough level to keep up with the Browns and the Bengals. And I think that Deshaun Watson goes back to form this year. And I know previously I told people that I thought that you would see the best version of Deshaun this year. And I think that was unfair of me to put those expectations on him or even say that out loud. I didn't understand just how difficult it was to jump into an offense that wasn't necessarily yours, that wasn't necessarily catered to you, that wasn't all about you throughout the offense. And it wouldn't have been fair to that offensive staff to do that. However, this offseason, they can do everything in their power to make sure that they have an offense that's high-powered, bringing another weapon at the receiver position. They could have 3 really, really good receivers there in order to do some special things on offense. And I envision them being about a 12-5 team next year. I think that they can do that based on the things that they have in offense, able to draft a D tackle, some things up front in the run game. I still think they have some good guys on the back end of that defense. I'm not sure if they played to the level and standard that they would expect themselves to, but they got real pieces. Want to see what the new defensive coordinator does, but we know he's known for bringing a lot more pressure. So they got a chance to be special, and they have one of the best defensive linemen in all of football. So that's what I think about this team. And if that Trey Lance one is not up, you can shoot me a DM on Twitter. I will make sure that I get it up on YouTube. Any more callers? Giving you guys an opportunity to hop in real quick. Cool. Not looking like a ton more callers. We're listening to Q Quincy Avery. We had Deshaun Watson on earlier. Now we're finishing up with this draft talk. Want to talk to you guys a little bit about Will Levis. Some of you, I think, is getting compared a lot with Josh Allen. I think if you guys have the opportunity to watch some tape, if you watch Will Levis's tape from his junior, whatever, the year before this one, I don't know if we want to call this junior season or whatever, but if you watch the tape from the year prior to this one, I think that you can see a lot of the things that people say would have allowed Will Levis to be a first-round quarterback selected in the draft. Like, I think if he came out last year, he would definitely be a first-round quarterback. Now, I'm not sure if his production struggled because he lost talent around him. I'm not sure if his production struggled because he had a new offensive coordinator. However, the things that he put on tape this year were not adequate enough as a quarterback. I can understand a lot of different mistakes that quarterbacks make. However, one mistake that I have a really difficult time overcoming is accuracy. There's a difference between a quarterback who throws interceptions because they make bad decisions. Quarterbacks who throw interceptions because they don't know where to go with the ball. Will Levis would see guys open and just miss them. He has a very, very hard, and the thing that he has a hard time is the same exact thing that Mitchell Trubisky had a hard time with when he was at the University of North Carolina. He has a very difficult time in terms of using his eyes and his feet, going from his first read to his second read, and then being consistently accurate. He will get his eyes to number one, and he is very, very accurate when he's throwing to his first read. However, when that guy's not open and he has to look, like let's say you're standing in the pocket and you're looking to left and you're throwing something like a 9-yard stop, right? You would throw that on rhythm, boom, that's there. If that is open, he's going to put that on the receiver's chest. He's going to be accurate there. However, let's say on the backside, he's going to be reading like a shallow cross from a receiver who's going to be running underneath at 4 to 5 yards. He's taken away, so his eyes would go from that 9-yard stop to the shallow cross. Now, the next thing he would get to is his eyes to a tight end on an in route or a basic route, depending on how you're talking or communicating football. If he has to throw to that basic route, oh, golly. His eyes get there, but his body just does not do the work. And I do think some of those things can be fixed, right? Some of those things can be fixed. It's just learning how to get your feet in position with his eyes. I know that Will Levis is out there working with Jordan Palmer. I know he's going to do a fantastic job with Will. However, if that's not buttoned up, that really, really scares me in terms of his production or his ability. And then there's a few times where I see him getting number two, getting his feet in the right spots, and then still missing, right? He still misses on that big dig. He throws it behind the receiver, and he's doing those things. He is athletic. He is big. He is strong. He does have the ability to make some amazing wild throws. We're just going to need Will Levis to display a higher level of consistency. And that's not something that I really want. I don't want to go into a situation where I have a quarterback who I don't know and I can't necessarily trust to be consistently accurate, because if you're not accurate in the NFL, if you don't have the ability to put the ball where you want to, this shit is damn near impossible, right? It is a difficult game, a difficult sport, and you're playing against the best guys in all the world. Then you're asking people to do something that's damn near impossible. So if you can't throw the ball accurately, good luck as a head coach trying to find a system that works. I'm going to give you guys one more call. I'm going to give you one more song, and when we get back, give you guys the opportunity to call in. If nobody's calling in, we are going to move it along and see you guys next Thursday. Next Thursday, I got a really big NFL quarterback as my guest, a really big NFL quarterback. So I hope you guys make sure you hit the like button on this. Like, hit that like button so you get the notifications for next week when they're NFL quarterback next week. And we're going to keep doing this. We're going to do this all the way until we get to the season. And the season, We got 3 quarterbacks. We're going to join us every single Tuesday. Every Tuesday after their games. So I know Pat McAfee has Aaron Rodgers. I got 3 guys. So we'll see how it goes. Listen to the Q with Quincy Avery. Listen to the song. You guys, I'm going to hit the invite caller button. You guys can ask whatever you want. Join me for another episode of the Q with Quincy Avery. We are all done here. Make sure you guys do me a favor. Hit that heart button. Hit that like button. So you guys are informed every time we have a special guest, just like the ones we had today. Thank you so much. You guys enjoy your day. Enjoy your Friday. Be blessed. Be safe. Have fun.